there. That's why I couldn't see it. There we go. I threw some of these memes in here just because I think that the stress of the experience that we're all going through requires a little levity. So this is interspersed with the things that I thought were funny as I was putting this together. So I think, Katie, have you met with most of the students before? Remind me.
I have not. No. I've had a few of them in other courses, but I have not met with them one-on-one yet. So.
Okay. Well, I think I've met with most of them. So obviously hopefully they remember me somewhat from way back when we talked. We'll get into the PowerPoint here though. And do you want to call people out, Katie? We'll give you maybe a couple of minutes here to think about these icebreaker questions that are, before I forget, Katie, did you start recording?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think we are missing one student, so I just.
Yeah. We wanted to try and jump in with something to introduce ourselves, what's been going on during the pandemic, what you found interesting, and also off the wall question with karaoke. I always think it's interesting to see what songs people pick there. So maybe give a minute and then go around. Do you think that works, Katie?
Sure. Yeah. If you guys don't mind, I'll just call on you. But maybe Eric, do you wanna start off and then I can go and then we'll call on everybody? Have you thought about this?
I actually haven't. I put the PowerPoint together. I put the questions on there, but didn't think about what they would be. In terms of hobbies or activities, my biggest hobby, and Katie knows this all too well, is watching my 3-year-old daughter, Ida. I'm chasing her around most of the day and splitting time with my wife. So if that qualifies as a hobby, that's what I've been enjoying. I've watched more PBS kids shows than I ever thought I would, and I've seen the movie Frozen through dozens of times, it feels like. So that's been my entertainment. And in terms of karaoke, there are some people in our department that can really sing. I am not one of them. And the thing that I default to is a song that at least will get the crowd singing with you so that you're not on your own. So I've had good luck doing like a group and Sweet Caroline, because it's something that everybody knows the chorus to at least. So
took mine.
Is it?
You seriously took mine. Dang it. Well, that was going to be mine.
It can be yours too, Katie.
Okay, it is mine. I'm a terrible singer too. But if any of you have ever had Madonna LeBlanc as an instructor, she has an amazing voice, and her son Adam has a band in Chicago. What is it called again, Eric? 16 Candles. Yeah, and it's like an 80s. They do a lot of 80s cover band, and so check it out. They have a great Facebook page, and if you ever get a chance to see them, they're pretty fun. I would say my hobbies and activities during COVID has mainly been, I've done more reading than I've ever done, and gone on more walks than I've ever gone on, and just spending time with my girls. So that's what I've been up to. Let's see. How about Sammy? Can we start with you?
Sure. My hobbies, I guess, are keeping 3 kids who are 4 years old and under entertained, and working a lot. And I read 2 books, so that weren't assigned through class. I took summer classes too. So.
That's always a plus.
And then I'm not a big singer, but I know a lot of Adele songs, so maybe that.
Sounds good. All right. Elise?
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
So I'm kind of with you, Sammy, on the hobbies. Gosh, it's just been like working a lot, and then I had summer classes, but I have gotten into ordering those home deliver meal kits. In COVID, I do like a different one each week. So I don't know if that's a hobby, but just cooking a little bit more and then avoiding the grocery store has been nice.
Yeah.
And then I'm really, really bad at singing. So if I got forced to do karaoke, I would probably do Say My Name by Destiny's Child, because I did it in like ninth grade or in high school at some point for a talent thing that I lost horribly. So I could do that again.
Perfect. All right. How about Tracy?
So I actually work and am going to school so that I can do my hobby. If you saw when I logged in, instead of my name being under my picture, it was the Paris umbrella. I have a flock of, how many birds are down there right now? I have some foster parrots as well, but I do work with parrots. So I make money so that I can play with parrots all day long and help other people understand their parrots. Sometimes help people when they're in a situation where maybe they can't care for their parrot or they need to find another home for it. So it's all parrots
Cool.
and knitting. I picked up knitting again. I'm making Christmas presents.
Sounds
I've
fun.
never sang karaoke and I'm not going to start now.
So I feel like there's a joke in there. I know Jimmy Buffett fans are called parrot heads, so shouldn't it be something like that?
Yeah. What is the song? It's something to do with margaritas, right? Is it Margaritaville?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could sing Margarita. I would do that. Sure.
There you
Looking
go.
for my last shaker of salt.
All right. How about Catherine?
I've been catching up on reading and trying to clean my house, which is a 6-month project. And yeah, no one's going to get me to sing karaoke. That's not going to happen.
That's okay. Let's see here. How about Anne? Are you there, Anne?
On to the
Okay.
again.
All right. I'm gonna keep moving. How about Elizabeth?
My hobbies are anything outside, I suppose. Gardening, hanging out with my dogs, horseback riding, but I haven't done that in a while. I have a pastor trophy now.
Okay.
He's retired. And I'm with Tracy. I just don't sing. I grew up listening to Elvis traveling around the country horseback riding with my mom, so I suppose I could do something from him.
I would get up and sing Elvis with you. I would do that.
I mean, everybody knows one of his songs.
All right, thank you. How about Jenny?
Hello, can you hear me?
We can.
As far as hobbies, I don't really have one. I just been working a lot this whole time and taking summer classes. I did pick up on some readings. Right now I'm reading the Seventh Son series, and I will never sing a karaoke. The closest I ever get to sing along is Baby Shark. Sorry.
I only sing in church. So.
I think we all know that song.
Fun. Okay. Let's see. I'm sorry if I miss anybody. My participants for some reason are kind of bouncing around here. Kara.
Let's see. I don't really have much time for hobbies. My 4 children keep me pretty busy, and I also did take summer classes as well as most of you. But I enjoy anything outdoors, gardening. Right now it's canning season, so that is all I've been doing. Sing karaoke. I do like to sing in the shower, but if I was to sing in public, it'd probably have to be at a bar with some drinks. I'm gonna say Garth Brooks, "Friends in Low Places."
That's classic.
Yep, everyone can sing along.
How about Tao?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
Okay. So, my hobbies, I really like to be outside. So I like hiking and I jog a lot outside and I walk my dog a lot. And then for karaoke, I'm not very good at singing, but I do it anyway, especially at a karaoke bar. And my go-to songs is Barbie Girl and anything from NSYNC and probably Britney Spears. So
awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
How about Monica?
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. My hobbies. During COVID, I was participating in Zoom dance classes. So I was trying to keep myself active. And when it comes to karaoke, I don't really have a particular song I like to go sing at first, but I do like to sing NSYNC songs or Backstreet Boys and Brian McKnight. Those are my go-to, and I just go through the whole like playlist songs they have. So yeah, that's it.
Fun. Okay. How about Sharon? She's still with us?
As far as hobbies or activities, I wouldn't really call them hobbies, but I really only get a chance to do special things around the house when I'm not in school. So coming off of the last 2 weeks, I did a lot of decorating around the house. I've become a professional Amazon Wayfair shopper. So I've had tons of boxes coming to the house and I'm arranging floral arrangements and I'm picking out new vases for them and getting ideas on different pictures, just house stuff because I love to decorate. And I asked myself just the other day, what are my hobbies? I've been in school so long, I forgot what my hobbies are. So I was watching something on TV and it came to me, once upon a time, I used to know how to crochet and I used to know how to knit. So I went to Amazon and I ordered some materials and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't remember how you do the loops. So I bought a book, waited for that to show up, then I didn't feel like doing it. So I just kind of like waver in and out of things, whatever whimsical things come to me that I want to do because I still rarely have extra time. Because I too was in summer school and before that I was in spring semester and you know, it's just a continual loop. So I really don't have a lot of time, but during COVID, I feel like, okay, I'm always home because I'm an online student. So doing COVID quarantine to me is just my way of living anyway. So yeah, and as far as karaoke, I'm not a karaoke fan. I mean, I can sing a little bit and don't ask me to sing, but I can sing and I like R&B, I like smooth jazz. I even like Beethoven. I listen to all kinds of music and I just kind of sing along and when I don't know the words, I'm real good for making up the words, you know. So I have a lot of fun with that sometimes.
Nice. Thanks, Sharon. Okay, you guys. My name, I don't know how this happens, but my list kind of got jumbled here. I'm trying to see Stormy, I think.
Hi, everyone. I'm not going to show my picture because my house is a mess behind me. I haven't done much cleaning lately. I don't really have any hobbies or activities except working. I didn't take any summer classes since the one class I can't take until after the PPE is finished.
Okay.
If I have to sing at karaoke, it would probably be This Feeling by the Chainsmokers.
Fun. I like that one.
I think the only thing that keeps me sane with this COVID is I got a new kitten, and he is very trouble. That's all he is. He likes to get in trouble.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so I'm just gonna scroll here. I think, is it, I'm sorry if I mispronounce your name. Is it iTerm?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Let's see. My hobbies are walking. I did a lot of walking this summer just because that's mostly the only activity you can do now is just walk and play outside. And since I have a house full of teenagers, one of the things I've been doing this summer is just being in their business, interrogating them and knowing what's going on. I'm sure they're tired of that now. I'm not a good singer, but I do sing to irritate everyone in the house. So I do that. Yeah. And my go-to songs are mainly like my, old African songs we used to sing when we were kids. So they can't understand anything. So it just annoys them, especially when they're on phones with friends. So I kind of, yeah, that's pretty much all that I've been up to this summer.
Great. Thank you so much. I think my husband's new hobby over the COVID and the summer has been driving my kids crazy. So that's funny. Can totally relate. Okay, so we're gonna dive in here. So as you all know, we are having to do things a lot differently this year due to COVID, just because most of our sites are not, that we typically send our students to, are not allowing our students to come physically on site. And so we're fortunate enough to have, and Eric, correct me if I'm wrong here, but one or two sites that we're willing to do more of a virtual PPE, like one-on-one with a student. And so maybe you want to explain that, Eric.
Yeah, I can talk through where we're at here, just to provide the context since I had started the conversation with everyone. Basically what it came down to is, as I was reaching out, sites were just, when I first started reaching out, they didn't know what things were going to look like. And as it got closer and closer, they said, we can't take a student on site. And also trying to support a single student. We had some sites that had a student when COVID hit back in March, and they had to split that up, and the virtual version didn't go very well. So they were hesitant to bring another student in for the entire time period. And otherwise, there's also issue of availability of staff and reductions in staff that they've been facing. So most of our clinical sites are not accepting students at this time. In fact, I just went to campus today for the first time in 6 months, and I had a handful of pieces of mail that were sites that I haven't even reached out to in a while, sending us letters to say, just to let you know, we've suspended all on-site student placements. So it's tough sledding out there, and I'm still working through. There's a few of you that'll hear the confirmation from me on if you're going to have a single site. that you'll be working with. Do you want me to talk through kind of what the virtual is going to look like, Katie, or do you want to talk through that?
No, go ahead, Eric. Yeah, I can
Oh,
take.
here we go.
Okay.
So for the virtual placements, this is going to be most of the students in the course. If you don't hear from me otherwise in the next, I would say, couple of weeks, I anticipate that this is the way that things will be going for you. So when we initially talked about the PPE, we'd outlined an 80-hour expectation. In talking with our accrediting body, the bare minimum required is 40 hours to meet the clinical component of the curriculum. So that's where the 40 hours that you see listed here on the screen comes from. And the way that we're going to achieve that is typically what students do is go to a single site and interview individuals across the organization in different content areas. And the way that we're going to set this up is rather than working with a single organization, we're reaching out to multiple organizations and finding content experts in the different areas. And students are going to be I'm trying to remember how much I shared in the PowerPoint, but basically you'll be working in groups to schedule and complete the hours in interviewing the professionals in a variety of HIM and related roles across the industry. And then there will be a separate project component, and we're working on gathering projects that can be completed virtually. I think we're at about 12 when I last counted, Katie. So we're getting very close to having enough for all the students. So between the project and the interview and the process for that, that'll meet that 40-hour minimum. And I'll talk through a little bit about how we'll be tracking that.
I just want to say one thing, Eric, before you move on. And so we've been really fortunate. Eric reached out to a lot of our alum and people that are serving on the undergrad advisory council for our program to see if they had projects that you all could work on, because we want you to have meaningful projects. We don't want to stray too far from, what we normally offer. And so I'm really excited. We've got some great projects lined up for you so far, and they seem to continue coming in. So I just want y'all to know that these are going to be meaningful projects and not just, something we're assigning you to do, just to do. And so you're actually going to be helping an organization and working with, having somebody overseeing that project and working with you on that. So I just wanted to put that in there, Eric.
Yeah, and I feel like I should acknowledge too, I haven't done this, but the way this is going is definitely not what Katie and I would hope for. We're making the most of the situation in terms of meeting what we think are meaningful activities, the standards that are required for accreditation, and keeping everyone moving forward in the program. We wish that we could send each of you out to your own site to have that experience, but it's just not the reality of where we are at, and that's we know how important this is to your education. So we're trying to find something that's as close to a replacement for that as we can. So like we mentioned, I've been working with the content area experts, mentors, and we'll share the list of contacts with the student, all of you once the HIM 45-55 coursework is completed. So that's around that October 18th date that you see there. And Katie and I still have to organize the groups, but we'll have you working with your group in order to schedule time with each of the mentors, and we'll give you some guidelines for what we expect when you reach out to the mentors. And also, we do anticipate that you'll need to be doing this during the typical business hours of about 9 to 5. So be prepared to still make some time in your schedule for those activities. And all of the PPE activities must be completed by the 18th of December. That's the end of the semester, and that gives you about 2 months to schedule, complete those interviews. The project component, those are kind of starting at any point here. We've actually got at least one that's underway already that Tracy is helping with. That one's a pretty exciting project too, working with the IFHEMA, which is the International HIM Association. And so Katie and I, we're going to have a list of projects that we'll share with you as well, probably via a Google Sheet, and then we'll make that available. We'll give you some notice, and then you can sign up if there's something that you're interested in. So we'll put the organization and a brief description of what the project is on that, share it with you so that you can get signed up for something that you would like to start. And we'll put an approximate start date because some of these are, the project is separate from the information that you're gathering in those interviews with the industry professionals out there. Anything to add there, Katie?
I would just one point of clarification. So when Eric and I talk about content areas, those are things that we have, like I have a list of, you know, just areas that we want that you would cover if you were in an acute care facility. So for example, meeting with a coding manager, meeting with release of information, meeting with somebody that has been involved with, you know, project management. I'm trying to think off the top of my head here, but each of those are content areas. And so that's kind of what Eric is referring to there. And so say that we have a professional, an alum or somebody that has hosted our students before that is very knowledgeable in, say, information governance, then we're going to list that person, and that would be who you would reach out to talk about information governance. And so that's what that means when we talk about content areas. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And just as a bit of a teaser too, I can say that for things like strategic initiatives and some of that management approach, we do have people who are CEOs of health systems that are going to be mentors participating in this. So you're still going to get some very high level experience with that.
Yeah.
So something that I know I've seen a couple of questions come in about are the background studies and immunizations. Because of the way that we're doing things, the students that are going with a single site, we're still going to complete those as normal. I'll reach out and work with you individually if you're a student that's going to be going through that process. For the students that are doing the virtual process, we're only going to have you complete the background studies as part of this. And I'll send out some messaging on how to get signed into Castle Branch in order to do so. We'll also have you completing the confidentiality agreement because that's something that we want to have on file as well. But when I get things set in Castle Branch, I'll be able to go in, and for those of you who are doing just the virtual option, I can mark all of the clear all of the immunization requirements, so that won't show up for you. So it should be once we get everyone set up in the system that it'll only show the things that you're required to do based off of what your experience is.
And Eric, for background studies, is it a federal and a state, or what will be required?
Federal and state where possible.
Okay.
There are some states that are closed, meaning that unless you're physically in the state, you can't conduct the background study. Okay. But know that when you sign into Castle Branch, it'll guide you to the correct package, and you'll complete the things that you need to for all of the studies. There won't be anything additional that you should need to do outside of that.
Thank you. Do you want me to take this one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
I've been talking a lot.
That's right. So what Eric and I hope to do over the next couple weeks is to get you into groups of 4 to 5 students. And so from there, you're going to work together starting, I think the date was after October 18th, and that is really approximately when Unit 4 is going to begin in the class within Brightspace. And so what we are hoping is that you guys will meet and you'll talk about your, schedules. We'll talk about how you can coordinate these meetings, what is the best way to do that with these professionals. And so the reason that we want you to do these obviously between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. is because that's when most of these professionals are working and are available to meet with you. And so just like if you were going to be going on site, we would expect you to, be there, make time for that, take PTO if you need to, whatever is kind of required for that. We're hoping that you'll all be able to meet as a group over Zoom once, twice, maybe more times in preparation for these meetings to coordinate everything. And then you will then reach out to the professional and ask them for, a couple of dates and times that might work for them. And then you'll set up a Zoom meeting with those individuals. And we're anticipating those meetings will probably be, 45 minutes to an hour and a half, I'm guessing. It kind of depends on, the questions that you guys ask them. And so I have shortly within the next couple of weeks, Eric and I will also be sharing with you what we call our PPE guide and our manual. And so that is going to actually give you a lot of questions that you can start conversations with. And so we're not going to just throw you in. We're going to help you and kind of guide you through this process as well. And so I believe that I sent an email to everybody that did not have a Zoom account and telling you that you need to take the next, the IT department said you need to take the next step to accept that and set up your account. And so those of you that already had Zoom accounts, they automatically switched you over to a pro account. And so what a pro account, Zoom Pro account does is it allows you to have more than, I think it was more than 3 people in a meeting. Because right now a basic Zoom account, you can only have 3 people. And I think that it's limited to 40 minutes. And so the pro account allows you to have more people and it allows you to have meetings that last however long you need them to. Let's see, what else am I missing, Eric, there?
I think that covers it. We
Okay.
just anticipated that between the projects and the interviews, each student was going to have a time when they needed to go beyond the basic requirements there.
Yeah.
So we're trying to make sure you have the tools you need for this. If you have any concerns about that, reach out to Katie and I sooner rather than later to let us know if you might have any technology barriers. It seems though like everyone's here, so that means that you've gotten this far with Zoom at least.
And the help desk has been great about, providing little tip sheets and things too. So.
I had a phone like that at one
I did
time.
too.
I know that I did.
Good one. Okay, so as we talked earlier, we're getting those projects lined up. And so you will have a project that you will need to complete outside of that group work and those interviews that you're going to conduct. And so these are all projects that can be done remotely and on your own time. I'm not saying that you won't need to meet with your kind of like your project supervisor or what have you during the day, because that might be when they want to meet with you, but definitely completing the work can happen anytime. And so like Eric said, we'll provide a list of those and you can sign up. We'll do first come, first serve. We always tell our mentors that the projects should be about 20 hours or take you about 20 hours to complete. And so we're hoping that that will help us in meeting that 40-hour guideline that we need to meet for accreditation. And in some cases, the projects are larger, and so we may want 2 students to sign up for those projects. And so it just kind of depends on what the project is and what the kind of project supervisor thinks it will take to complete. And so if they think it's going to take more than 20 hours, then they're kind of giving us the recommendation of, you know, yeah, I think this would be better for 2 students. If you were to go on physically on site to complete a PPE, sometimes when you complete your project, they would have our students give a presentation at the end. And so I can't rule that out either, that you may have to present what you complete for them. And it may just be presenting it to the supervisor at completion. But I just wanted to throw that out there because I don't want you to be surprised by that if that is a request made by your supervisor. So. All right. Kind of covered this.
Yep.
So we'll, I still have a little bit of work to do in Brightspace in terms of kind of fleshing out some of these things, such as journaling. Right now, well, in the past, we required students to complete or enter 4 journal entries in the discussion forum, just kind of sharing their experience, how things are going, what they're learning. And I have a bunch of prompts that I had built, but they're really focused on what you would do if you were physically on site. And so I'm going to be updating those to give you some other things to think about, but we'll have you journal. We'll still have you journal while you're completing your interviews and your projects. Let me step back. So the PPE report. So you're going to do these interviews. You're going to address the content areas that I will have laid out for you. This PPE report has, I think, 6 sections in it that you'll work through. One section is the project. So you'll provide a report on the project, kind of just explaining what you did and the processes steps you took to complete it. The other is just kind of a summary of some of the content areas those interviews that you conducted. Another section of the report is you completing a workflow analysis. And that is also something I'm working on to get that set up for all of you so that you can complete that section. Another one is where you would talk with one of the individuals that you're interviewing and meeting with, and kind of assessing their leadership style and interviewing them about their management, the management functions that they perform, and those kinds of things. And then we're also going to have you do kind of an exploration, so an area that might be of interest to you that you would like to explore, maybe a role that is a little bit unique to HIM profession right now. And then lastly is just kind of a reflection on the whole PPE experience. And so that's what makes up the PPE report. And so typically what students do is they work on it kind of throughout their PPE. The nice thing for all of you, just a heads up, you do not have to turn in the PPE report until the seminar course, which is HIM 4556. And most of you will be taking that spring 2, I believe is what we have set up. So we kind of give ourselves some leeway there. We only have 1 section of seminar set up for this spring, and it will be the second half of spring term. So you'll have from basically December to, let me see, when does spring 2 start? Probably
about the middle of March.
Yeah. So you'll have from like December to March to get your PPE report completed and ready to go to be turned in. And so that's nice that you have that time. And so we'll be talking a lot more about all of these things. We don't want to overwhelm you tonight, but just to kind of give you some insight into what you can expect.
Yeah, and I think I put this on here just to let folks know that there's some continuity in terms of our approach
Yes.
from what we've done previously too. So this is a lot that's coming at you. Don't worry about all the details. Katie is going to give you a lot more instruction and preparation before you need to be prepared to do much more with that.
I'll let you talk about this one.
Yeah, I'll probably open up the form too, and we'll get this distributed fairly soon as well. So because, typically students are on site where they're going to the same physical location for 8 hours a day, 4 to 8 hours a day, however long it may be until they've met the required hours. We want to keep track of that so that we can have it on file for accreditation and for our own tracking purposes. So we've set up a Google form, and hopefully are you still seeing the screen there, Katie?
Yep, it's working.
Okay. So this is roughly what it'll be. I might put your names in as a drop down rather than a fill in the blank, but we're going to ask you to put in the date that you completed an activity toward the PPE time, the total time. We're using half-hour increments, the name of the person that you were meeting with, an organization, and then a brief description. And this is so we have a solid log of what everyone's doing and verification that we're meeting the required hours for, again, for those accreditation requirements.
Yeah, and so Eric and I have talked about this as well. Like, what do you put on this, right? When do you report? And so we will want you to put on there any time you spent planning for these meetings. So when you're working with your groups, to set things up, so you could definitely log that time. We definitely want you to log any time that you work on your project, and then of course any time that you're meeting with individuals, we want you to log all of that time, and so that we can keep track of it. So all right, and so I kind of hit on some of these things earlier, but for sure, plan on still taking some PTO. Hopefully you'll have plenty of time for that, because we're going to kind of kick this off October 18th. And so you'll be able to plan out, and we have until December 18th to get those hours in. And so hopefully that gives you enough time to work with your job and things like that. It's going to take a lot of collaboration between all of you, and collaboration with Eric and I and the individuals and professionals that you're going to be meeting with. And so I guess I would just ask that you all be really just open-minded in, being willing to work in groups. I know that group work is not everybody's favorite. I completely understand that, but the way things are right now, we have to do it this way, essentially. Mm-hmm. And so just, if you can, be as flexible as possible, and just be, open and all of those good things to work together to get this done. And so the other thing is that Eric and I would like you all to be checking your email regularly. When we say regularly, we mean like daily, if possible, your CSS email, because things pop up a lot with PPEs, and we may get a great project that comes our way, and because of maybe your area of interest or something that we've, maybe Eric's talked to you about in the past, we think you might be a great fit for it, and maybe it's a short time frame. And so we need you guys to be responsive and getting back to us. Okay. Anything else, Eric, with that?
I don't think so. I would say with the collaboration, well, I say I don't think so, and then I'm going to add something anyhow.
It's okay.
We're open to however you want to collaborate. If you want to meet via Zoom, if you want to share calendars, if you want to start documents that you work from in terms of setting up those times, really we're viewing that kind of the management of that time as a part of what the PP is requiring in this environment. So whatever works for you in the group, please choose the best way for you all to move forward. I'm a fan of the Big Bang Theory. Anybody else watch it? During COVID, I think everyone's turned into Sheldon, the germaphobe kind of thing, where I know that I've had the reaction of seeing people and just wanting to like move away in ways that I never have before. So I think that wraps up what we really wanted to cover. We'll open this up if you have questions now. And also, if you have any questions that you maybe don't want to bring up right now or that come to your mind later, please email or call us so that we can get things sorted out and help you.
Any questions?
I just have a comment to make. I just wanted to say thank you to Eric and Katie for setting all this up in these crazy times. I know it's probably been a lot of work, and I'm super excited to kind of still be able to do this. You know, I was wondering for a while if we'd be able to do it or not. So thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're welcome.
In on it late, can you let me know, everybody is, just so that I understand, everybody is not able to go on site at this point?
There are small, I would say there might be 2 or 3 students that where organizations have agreed to take a student. But for the most part, we've just heard from our clinical sites that no, they can't handle a student at this time. So if you haven't heard from me, and if you don't hear from me within the next few days, anticipate that you'll be completing a virtual placement.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Well, we either covered everything perfectly, Katie, or just scared the heck out of all of them.
No, that's what I was worried about. So I think as things progress here, I'm going to start doing more video recordings and type of announcements, just because I would like to give you smaller bits of information versus throwing everything at you at once. And so if you haven't set up notifications yet, there is a way to do that within the system, within Brightspace, to get notified anytime a new announcement is posted. And so if you haven't checked that out, I believe that there's instructions for setting up notifications in the Start Here section of Brightspace. And so then those announcements will also they'll get emailed to you. And I think you can set it up to go to your phone as a text message, however you would like. So anyways, I'll try to do that. So I'm in a smaller one, so I'm not taking a half an hour to an hour of your time to share. So, all right. Anything else?
Well, thank you all. Really appreciate the time. I know that it's late in the evening for many of you, and we definitely appreciate your flexibility in moving forward with this too.
Yeah. All right. Good night, everyone, and thank you.
Have a good night.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Bye.